Welcome to Integrity Inspire, your daily dose of inspiration and motivation, featuring the bright and talented members of the Integrity Marketing Group family. Now, here's your host, Integrity co-founder and CEO, Bryan W. Adams.
Well, hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining today's podcast. Man, I tell you what, every time we have one of these, I get moved and I get inspired by just the amazing people we have here at Integrity and the amazing, talented people we have at Integrity. In addition, man, today's episode is really a continuation of our last episode that we started. And I'm grateful to have Bryan McCann and Avi Assouline, the co-founders of Your Insurance Group, back with us. In case you weren't able to listen on the last one, we had Bryan and Avi together the last time as well. It was supposed to be a two-way discussion, and I was supposed to go through and get to know both of them better and let everybody get to know them better. But I became so enthralled and fascinated with Avi's story that I just focused on Avi, and we ran out of time. Man, and if you weren't able to listen to that, you need to go back and listen to that one, because just the American success story that Avi discussed was just incredible. I mean, it was just incredible. But I didn't give Bryan a chance to really ask any question or answer any questions, and so fortunately, Bryan, my good buddy Bryan, has been incredibly a good sport, and he and Avi were willing to join us again today. Only this time, we're going to make sure that we flip things around and we hear more about Bryan's story, which is also just an amazing story that I've heard a few times. And so, Avi and Bryan, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us again on today's call and sharing with us even more about Your Insurance Group.
I'm going to say quick good morning. Yeah, thank you for having us. I'm going to say just a couple words now because I'm going to make sure I mute myself and let Bryan have this one. So I'm going to be good today, Bryan, I promise. But I just want to say we're definitely blessed. I thank you for definitely extending the same honor once again for us or to us by having us again on this morning. And the only thing I wanted to say is, Bryan and I always reference Team Integrity as the dream team. Like that '92 Olympic, I would say probably the best team ever assembled, and we definitely are blessed to be part of this amazing dream team, what we call Integrity. So thanks for having us again this morning.
Well, Avi, thank you very much. Appreciate you. Yeah, Bryan.
Yeah, I'd like to parlay off that, Bryan. Just, before we even get started on, I guess you could say my story, when you just think about where we are and obviously all the things going on in life and seeing what's going on in the restaurant business, the travel industry, and, pretty much the majority of businesses out there. And then you look at the most amazing part of what we could do here and what we're doing at Integrity Marketing Group. I mean, as people are getting laid off, we're expanding. As people are losing jobs, we're growing. As people are right now unsure what they want to do in the future, we're building teams, we're building groups, we're building companies. And it's just an amazing, amazing blessing that we all have and be able to parlay each other's talents and strengths and really, really flourish during the difficult times that we currently have right now in the world. But again, just another tip to the cap of what you have orchestrated, Bryan, with Integrity Marketing Group and giving all of us this golden opportunity to really maximize our talents and work ethics to build our businesses, even higher than levels we could have ever even dreamt of doing it on our own.
Well, hey, man, I appreciate that. And man, the credit goes to all of you guys. And I'll tell you, it's been hard. I'm starting to see, and as I know many of you are, starting to see friends and friends that have family members that have lost their jobs and have been really impacted by just the economy. We've got just incredible unemployment numbers, and it's in some of those times you feel a little bit guilty about our success, but it's really an opportunity. I think if you look at it the way you just said, Bryan, that we can look at it as a way for us to give people opportunity. I mean, we're seeing record recruiting numbers across the board with all of our different offices. We're seeing incredible sales. In fact, Family First Life, I got to give Sean Mike a quick shout out. They had a record week. They had a record breaker last week. They sold, I think it's over 3,000 new applications last week alone. They're having just incredible weeks, which is just amazing. And there's a lot of people who need the products that we offer, and it's pretty humbling to see the opportunity that we all have in front of us. So, listen, I appreciate you, Bryan, for being patient with us on Friday, because I got so engulfed in Avi's story that we ran out of time, bro, and I didn't mean to do that. And I know that your story is every bit as fascinating, and so I thought it'd be fun for you to come back and for us to just really dive into your story a little bit more, because one of the things I love about what we're doing here is it's a way for all of us to get to know each other better. It's a way for us to get more experience with, people may have heard about your insurance group, or they may have heard about Bryan McCann or Avi, but they might not know you the way that some of us know you, and just seeing kind of the opportunity for all of us to come together and get to know each other better and not waste this time that we've been given. I think it's been just really fascinating how much people are into this and really excited about getting to know you better. And so, what would you would you mind sharing just a little bit about your story and how you got started throughout life and then into the business?
Sure, I look forward to it. But unlike Avi, I never had to move to a different country or learn, a new language. But I did grow up in Brooklyn, New York, and I can tell you I've experienced a few things. One event really shaped much of who I am was surviving a fatal car accident.
Yeah, I remember hearing you tell me something about this. We were at a company event one time. You were telling me about, I had no idea that you had this massive car accident. Tell us a little bit more about that.
But when I was a junior in high school, the car I was riding in, it crashed underneath a tractor trailer that was parked on the shoulder of the New Jersey Turnpike. At that time, my best friend was killed. The driver of the car was seriously injured. I didn't fare well, to be candid with you myself. I broke my jaw in 3 spots. I had it wired shut. I ended up with 32 staples in my head, my forehead going all the way back to the middle of my head. I remember the paramedics saying they actually had to do that, a quick stitch, when they were, I guess you could say, where they were trying to save me from the car, and he had to do it to keep my head together. I remember those words that he used. And I also fractured my femur bone in my left leg. So I got roughed up pretty badly in that. And helicopters actually had to come to the scene of the accident. And when I was admitted to the hospital, I was on a respirator. It was just scary, scary stuff.
Oh my gosh, man, that talk about a defining moment. That's the type of stuff that really affects you not only physically but mentally and spiritually, right?
Oh, it absolutely did. At that time, it turned my world upside down. I was so grateful just to be alive. But here's the thing, I played baseball when I was younger. It was really my passion. It's always something I wanted to do. And, a lot of guys my age during those times just wanted to be a baseball player. And because of the accident, I missed out on my senior year, which, if everybody knows, your senior year is your most important year, especially in high school, potentially going to a college. But I would never give up. That's one thing I was always taught by my dad and my mom: just never give up. Anything you set your mind to, you can do because you've done it already. Now it's just a little, more of a little bit of an obstacle for you to just strive and get through. So what I did is I worked really, really hard, get back myself into playing shape, did a lot of physical therapy. I remember those grueling days. And because of that work, I actually ended up playing 2 years of community college baseball. And from there, I received a partial scholarship to a Division I school. Funny thing is, this baseball journey began with a metal rod in my left leg, which eventually was removed. So during that time, as I'm trying to then rebuild my career, it was pretty hard having a metal rod in your left leg, which at the time, being right-handed, which I still am, but that's my kicking leg. So it wasn't that easy. But I persevered.
My gosh, man, and that is man, having an injury like that, and making it all the way back is I mean that's pretty hard to do, man. I mean that's a big deal to take that injury and to stay focused and make it all the way back. That's pretty incredible, buddy.
You know what it was, Bryan? It taught me never give up, as I said. And to this day, I'm grateful that I did put all that work in. And the funny thing is, I actually had a chance. I pitched against Manny Ramirez. I don't know if everybody's familiar with him. Amazing ball player. And by the way, I struck him out twice. I know there was a significant amount of scouts there, looking at him. And it was really, really cool because I had that opportunity to face this prodigy, and I actually fared pretty well against him. And, I'd say back then my fastball was pretty decent. And I actually at one time I was scouted by the Dodgers, Yankees, and Phillies, but I was too small. I mean, I weighed 135 pounds, soaking wet in those days. So professional baseball wasn't in the cards. It wasn't in the cards, Bryan. So then I started working in the financial industry.
Wow, you were throwing heaters at Manny Ramirez at 135 pounds. That is that's something, man. That's we should get him on and hear his side of the story here.
Yeah. Then I got to get my catcher on. He's got a guy who caught for me. His name is Dominic. He'll testify to that. So that was pretty cool.
Dom will testify. I love it. Well,
Dom will.
You went into the investment world. I know a little bit about that world, and that can be a grueling, demanding business for sure.
It absolutely was, especially back in the 90s. Work really was my total focus at that time. And when I started, I remember the stories. I remember my mom. I had nothing but one suit, 2 shirts, and 2 ties. And I remember when I used to come home, she used to, take the shirt off, used to wash it and iron it. And I remember just that's what I had. And just from that point on, I just wanted to make the most of it from there.
Wow, man. So what was it? You were in the investment world in New York. What was a typical day like, man?
Candidly grueling. I remember I used to make hundreds of calls. I mean, we're not talking 100, 200. We're talking 500 to 600 phone calls a day, all marked down on a call sheet, And back then, to generate a quote-unquote lead, that was defined as someone that would stay on the phone with you for more than 90 seconds and getting some answers to maybe 2 or 3 of my questions. I mean, if you were really, really good, and I'm talking working 12 to 14-hour days, you may get 3 to 5 leads a day, And many of the contacts and people I spoke to were in Europe. So I used to actually get in the office 3 o'clock in the morning before the secretary came in on their time, and to be able to speak to the CEOs and the big guys of owners of companies. So I was working really hard, really, really hard.
And were you trying to get them to buy stocks? What were you guys trying to do here?
Just in different investment strategies, whether it's funds, equities, things like that. Invest in, IPOs, initial public offerings, all different variety of, blue chip, all different variety of investments.
Dude, that can be so grueling, man. That is just a meat grinder, buddy.
No, 100%, definitely. So and then if everybody remembers, the .com bubble burst in a very big way. I ended up personally losing every dollar that I had in the crash. So everything I worked for was gone, completely put. And to be candid with you, I had a significant amount of debt. I had collectors calling me, certain balances on Providian credit cards, things like that. And back then, Bryan, you weren't able to say, well, listen, it's a minimum payment of $500. Let me give you $350. They wouldn't do it. They'd be like $500, or we're sending you the collection. So with that, I had a lot of, obstacles in my way. And, candidly, at that time, it seemed like the whole world was collapsing. And if you remember, 9/11 followed soon after that bubble crash.
Man, that is, man. Listen, I remember it well. Those were some other. We're in uncertain times now, but those were some other uncertain times, and it's a great reminder that if you hang in there, you keep working hard, you keep grinding, things do get better, right?
You know what? You're right, and they always do. And for me, failure was never an option. It wasn't even a thought in my mind. And at that point, I got into life insurance, the life insurance business, again, without a penny in my pocket.
Wow. So what was the catalyst? How did you get into the insurance business? What kind of drove you in there?
I got to tell you, when someone showed me a direct mail lead, and I was just struck by two things. And again, coming from grinding and making significant amount of calls to possibly speak to someone that would listen to me, one, when looking at these specific direct mail leads, one is that someone filled it out and actually requested information. And two, the kind of coverage that they could get. I could not believe what they were offering and what people wanted was real. I couldn't believe it at that time. It was a huge awakening for me. It was something that, gave me a real high level of confidence. I committed myself to outworking and out hustling everyone. And candidly, Bryan, it didn't even take too long. My first week, okay, I wrote $7,600 in premium. My first year, I wrote $528,000 in premium. And I was the number one agent for not only the IMO, but for the insurance carrier. So, I did get those good results, but there was a lot of hard work that enabled me to I guess you could say, to write that amount of premium.
Yeah, man, that's you talk about value of a lead, man. That it seems to have driven you to do some amazing things with your insurance group. Tell us more about the platform that you know what it takes to work a lead. You know what it takes to create a lead, and you know the value of a lead. So what have you and Avi kind of done to really help agents out at your insurance group with leads? Yeah,
well, we're able to grow a lead generation by focusing on each other's strengths, and we've done that for since inception. Avi had the background of working with computers and is more technology savvy, so he spearheaded and managed projects like the websites, the online campaigns, e-contracting, and things of that nature. I found actually the lead vending cultivated an exclusive relationship that continues to benefit us today, as all leads we generate are for Integrity partners only. And candidly, when I think of partner relationships and partner support, I can't help but to mention Frank Buse, Tim Mousy, Sean Mike, Andrew Taylor, Hunter White, Jared Green, Scott Riddle, Jackie, Alan Pauly, Craig Harvey, Allentown, and the list can go on and on and on. And actually, I'll add more names. Savers Marketing, Nice Lawson Fleming, Karen Fredericks with Multi-State. And again, the list continues to go on. They are not only great partners, they're a great support team. They're people that we can lean on, and they know we can lean on them. And again, many, many other partners that I don't, off the top of my head, that I'm probably forgetting, but trust me, nobody's forgotten, and we appreciate every partner, every part of the Integrity Marketing Group, because candidly, it's getting us to where we're going, and we cannot be more appreciative and thankful for everything we have and every partner we have. And when you go back and I think of that, I also look at how Avi and I are so different in so many ways, but we share something in common that bridges every gap. And I hope you hear it with Avi on Friday, and hope you hear it with me today. We are passionate. We're passionate about what's doing best to help others, and we found a real satisfaction in changing the lives of their consumers, lives of consumers and individual agents. That's our rush. That's what we thrive for each and every day.
Bryan, I want to throw one word in there, man, and that's respect. All this was 100% built on a foundation of respect, which we obviously deeply have for one another, and of course the Integrity family. And that's another word too, respect. Respect also 100% has no substitute. So respect's a big thing that we continue to hold, and obviously that's part of our brotherhood and our relationship on and off the court as well too.
Yeah, guys, respect is one of our core values here at Integrity. It's one of our 5 core values. We talk about it a lot. I think one of the things that's exciting listening to you guys talk, and Bryan, love what you were just saying, and you just kind of rattling off the top of your head. A lot of the partners that you just kind of rattle off the top of your head there. But those were competitors of yours a year or two ago, right? These were competitors you're trying to beat. You're trying to don't tell them what we're doing. And now you're sharing all this secrets of your success. Now you're partners. You're talking about Integrity family. We're partners. We're looking at ways to help grow and prosper together, and not trying to try to keep things away from each other. Is how do we do this together? In fact, let me even share with you that success. And I love the fact you talk about the passion, because I think your passion, both of you, and I love what we talked about the other day, was you guys are kind of like the synergy. 1 + 1 = more than 2, or you're kind of the yin and the yang here. that combined what you and Avi have created, I think is a real key part of it. So you talked about passion. Would you say that your passion for helping others and having respect for one another would you say that those are the two big driving forces in your business?
No, absolutely, Bryan. It's the core of everything your insurance group strives for. We never let ourselves forget that the first part of the company's name is your. It's your insurance group. And the agents are the you in your insurance group. They define your insurance group. And I think Avi and I are both talented people, and, we could have probably succeeded on our own, but we're so much better together. When I say together, candidly, I can't help but to think and thank Teresa Perella, our office manager. Teresa actually was working with me as an office manager 7 years prior to your insurance group's opening its doors. Greg Sadak, who's the VP of our lead operations. Donna Stanley, Joelia Ruiz, they head our contracting and pending business department. I can't thank them enough for all the work and hard work that they do and, keeping the business flowing. And, from that standpoint, our relationship mirrors the growth of the Integrity platform. The performance growth of each partner impacts the growth of all partners. And that's one of the best things about being part of the amazing family of companies and being part of Integrity Marketing Group. We are beyond blessed and beyond grateful to have this opportunity.
Man, I appreciate you saying that. And listen, I want to come back to this point that a few years ago, these were people who you were competitors with, that you were less than a year ago, frankly, for you guys. You would say, man, don't tell these guys what we're doing because I don't want them to take whatever it is we're doing. But by all of us working together, sharing best practices, sharing best ideas, laying down, still having that competitive, tension. We all want to win. We're all like winners, and we want to win. Or at least you guys are. And you guys want to strive to be the best no matter what. But by sharing best practices and best ideas, and even your leads, and you guys have even opened up your lead generation capabilities to the platform. In fact, I just got a text right as you were talking, and Sean would have been, friendly competitor, but definitely a competitor, a guy you probably wouldn't have wouldn't want to help grow his business before you guys were all partners. But Sean just sent me a quick text, and he said, your insurance group's leads are a game changer, all capitalized, game changer. Their leads are a big part of the growth at Family First Life. Man, that says something. Like what you guys are doing helped grow Family First, and because we're all partners, we're all in this together. We all want to grow. In fact, Sean also, I had said that they had done 3,000 applications last week. Actually, I was wrong. That was 3,000 applications with just one carrier. They actually did 5,200. Think about this: 5,200 new applications last week alone. Like people say, man, times are tough, things are going crazy, whatever. Like we're having record weeks, and your FFL with Sean Mike is, they're crushing records, and it's all about realizing, hey, we're an essential business. People need these products more than ever. We've seen that with, just with a lot of our businesses, with the recruiting center over in Atlanta. We've got, and that's why I took a pie in the face last week, with what we've seen with Scott Riddle and Jackie Huggins and your insurance group. We are having just remarkable success. NASB, North American Senior Benefits, those guys have just crushed it. Frank Buse has crushed it. A bunch of these guys have just continued to grow and expand. And Bryan and Avi, listen, I don't think I've heard anybody summarize the Integrity mission any better. And I'm so grateful that both of you have chosen to play such a big role in everything we're doing here at Integrity, and really saying, let's figure out how do we grow together. And so, Bryan and Avi, I just want to say thank you both again for coming back and joining us on today's podcast. We're always inspired by all the different partners, but what you guys have shared and this amazing story about how Avi went from Israel to New Orleans to New York and didn't even know how to speak English until the first grade, and moving here, not even knowing how to speak English, and became just an incredible success story. Bryan, with your success story about literally breaking your leg and going through all of those different issues, massive car accident, losing your best friend, to go into Wall Street, being on the top, man. I mean, getting up at 3 a.m., making sales calls, grinding through that, but being on the top and then losing everything, and then starting it all over again, and creating just a massive business with your insurance group and what you guys have been able to do to be able to support others and encourage others. And the whole time, coming back to this, like, one of the things I love about how you guys summarize the integrity mission is the whole time you kept talking about integrity family, ways that we can continue to grow and expand together, and the ways that you guys are willing to share with people like you mentioned, including Sean Mike. And as he said, I mean, he's like, man, this is a big part of my growth. And so, listen, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate you guys. You know how I feel about you personally. I love you guys as friends first and foremost, and certainly as business partners more than anything else as well. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Really appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Bryan. It was truly another honor.
All right, everybody. Thanks a lot for joining today's podcast. Bryan and Avi, appreciate you guys. That was a lot of fun today and on Friday. Tomorrow, we've got Mr. Clay Leggett from American Senior Benefits, one of the most inspiring guys I've ever been around. We may have to have a couple of bleeps available in case he drops a word or two, which is even more entertaining. But Clay is one of the best sales leaders I've ever met and gotten to know. American Senior Benefits is just a rock star business. So be ready to be blessed by Mr. Clay Leggett tomorrow. We're going to have a lot of fun, everybody. Look forward to talking with you soon. Hope you guys all have a great week and a great Monday. Talk soon. Bye-bye.